Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a high-level best of 5 between Maru here in the top right spawning as our blue Terran player, and in the bottom left we have Classic as our red Protoss. This is from the KSL SummerSlam round of 8, as this is the tournament we're focused on currently on this channel. We have a double gas opener coming out of Maru. Now, there are a couple of things that Terrans have been doing as of late from these double gas openers. There is a particular build that has taken the world by storm, and it's the Reaper. I think you might even build a Hellion with it, or maybe you should Reaper into Reactor, followed up with a 4 Marine plus Cyclone drop. And these pushes are really kind of designed to try and clear a wall if it's there. So whenever a wall gets built to try and deny a Reaper, yeah, it could be very useful. What is this guy doing? He's just going to build a factory, right? Yeah, this guy was lost. Another build that we've seen Maru in particular do quite a bit is a different one, and that is the 6 Marine drop with a mine. I saw him play it against MaxPax a couple of times already, so there is a possibility that that is going to be it as well. He's going to open up with a bunker rush over here. Don't think he's quite gonna get this up. His Classic was very aware as to what was kicking off. Reaper is getting closer to finishing up, but to me this SCV looks pretty freaking dead. He's gonna try to reroute it one more time, getting into the bunker, but will get cleared now by these workers. That's a little bit of mining time lost, as well as one probe ending up dying. I think in the end it's about an even trade. Some mining time, I guess it's worse for the Terran, but because both players lost a worker, and that SCV was on the map for a very long time, just for this one purpose, because it didn't actually scout anything at all. Like, didn't see anything like whatsoever. This Stargate is fairly late. This is a Stalker into a Stalker into a Stargate, which is, well, it's uncommon. I don't see this a whole lot. I actually never see this particular opener. Sometimes you see this opener if someone opens up with a successful bunker rush, but this was a lot of things. It was not a successful bunker rush. Reaper grenade does get thrown down in the mineral line, denies a little bit of mining, and gets the scout here on the Stargate. And it's indeed going to be the 6 Marine plus mine drop that we'll see heading in towards either the main or the natural. Most of the time this particular drop will end up heading towards the main base. Sometimes we'll see it coming from an angle like this, and maybe try and go to the ramp. If you can get a mine on the ramp, it's hard for the Protoss player to move past that, because they're gonna instantly lose a unit that they'll perhaps need to defend the Marine drop. If you have 6 Marines in a medevac, like with the healing, you can actually fight, I think, up to 3 stalk, or up to 3 gateway units semi-comfortably most of the time. Now there's going to be a Phoenix out as well, so that's going to add another unit in. On top of that, there's also going to be 4 units. So there's going to be 3 Stalkers and 1 Adept. So I don't really see a way for Classic to take any serious damage here. I like the setup that he's gone for. I don't like the fact that he lost the Phoenix for free, but that seems pretty stupid and pretty darn bad as well. I'm not so sure why he... Well, I don't think he did it on purpose. Let's not pretend like he did. It's going to be a 6 Marine drop down here. Classic is out of position, and it's going to lose 1 Stalker. Mine starts to burrow now as well. We see these workers pulling away. Some serious damage here being dealt. At the same time, Mine walked in towards the natural, gets 6 kills as well. I mean, this just looks real bad for Classic. Now, if I were Classic, I wouldn't necessarily leave the game here, but I think I would have considered it at some point. This looks really freaking bad. There's going to be a follow-up here as well. Now, the moment your opponent starts doing an attack, a follow-up attack with a Raven, you know you're in quite some trouble. So I hope that Maru is not actually going to play that. That's freaking awful. Ravens are not meant to, to join in with minor 1-1-1 attacks. Mine is going to connect with that Phoenix, and then the Cyclone gets the lock on, and that's going to be the second Phoenix that goes down here. Resources lost heavily in favor right now of Maru, as this Adept has to finish up its shade, and that means it's also going to end up dying. Lots of workers have gone down here. The eco for Classic is mediocre. The unit count for Classic is mediocre. The robo wait timing for Classic is actually just bad. Like, this started so freaking late. And that's understandable because this early game was crap, but it's not a good sign. This is not a good start whatsoever here for Classic. I hope that he can turn this game around, but in the past we've seen that when Terran players get ahead, they very often end up just winning with that first push, especially if Ravens are in the mix. And a Raven definitely is in the mix here. There's going to be 2 interference matrices available before... Yeah, but the moment Stim and Combat Shield is going to hit, actually, it's going to have a maxed out energy, basically, the moment Combat Shield finishes up. So, yeah, I'm afraid here for Classics Live. He's playing Phoenix Colossus and has 0 Phoenixes and 0 Colossus as well. So, yeah, that's usually not a great sign if the main components of your composition aren't there. That's like serving a dish of mashed potato and not having any potatoes. It's like, well... That is kind of the main component there, mate. You might want to invest into some of those. Everyone loves a good potato anyway. So, can never have enough potatoes in your life. Twilight Council does get thrown down right now. Like, this Stargate has been completely useless. It built 2 Phoenixes that died instantly. It has no value anymore in this game. It's just been wasted resources. And yeah, that's kind of painful. That doesn't show up necessarily in the resources lost, but we could. Like the extra 150 of the Stargate could be added in there. Like, these are wasted resources, no use. So the tech building that we don't need. Maru starts by moving in. Wants to siege up from a distance right now. Let's see how he's going to maneuver this. Oh, Maru. Cyclones moving forward. Lots of Marines in this army composition. Now, that does of course mean that if these Colossus start going ham, that it could get quite some damage. Here comes the first, here comes the second interference matrix. At times I believe that it might be best to just ignore this army altogether and then go to the third base. But Maru says, no, you know what's better than trying to kill workers at the third base, Harstem? It's just killing your opponent straight up with a big push. And, well, can't disagree with him there too much. These Marines are trying to get a little bit of damage. I'm loving this this high ground Colossus up here. It's definitely helping out. Is there thermal? Yeah, there is thermal lens. There is a battery up here as well. Marauders now moving forward. Do get healed by 1 medevac, but not enough damage output quite here. Not quite indeed, as we have these 4 medevacs having a good old time. Raven's gonna have an interference available in a couple of seconds from now, as we have a flank. Perhaps mine's going to connect with that Colossus as the Marauders kill the Colossus on the left side. And I think that this is actually just going to be it. There's 1 more interference matrix. It's going to be an auto turret instead. We'll take out the Colossus with it. That's an interaction you don't see every single day. And Maru takes map number 1 on Royal Blood. Kind of a disappointing first game there between Maru and Classic, but luckily we're in game number 2 already, in which we're once again going to see a double gas. Like I said, I've seen a lot of this as of late. It really kind of ebbs and flows when it comes to that build. Sometimes people play it a lot and then people don't play it for a while. We've seen, I mean, Cure and Clem, 2 of the greatest TVP players in the world. I think Cure might actually be the best TVP player in the world, or, well, did lose the hero, but I still feel like when Cure is playing top-level StarCraft, he's definitely... Yeah, no, I actually think he's one of the best. I definitely do believe he's one of the best. Maybe not the best, but I'll give him top 3. Top 3. He's just been playing Reaper every single game first with a 1 gas expand. And this is very different out of Maru. You know, this is... It's much more aggressive. It forces you to deal more damage. Once again, it's gonna send this SCV across the map. This is fairly uncommon with this build order, by the way. The reason why this is uncommon is because most of the time you're going to have enough units to deal with whatever your opponent throws at you. So if your opponent is proxy gating you, well, you have the fastest factory possible and you have constant Reaper production or a very fast reactor on that. On top of that, there's also no low ground CC the moment you do have a reactor going up. So yeah, I mean, this is... So far this has been going pretty freaking terrible, this entire bunker thing. I appreciate the effort here, but it hasn't quite been it yet. It's gonna get cancelled for now. It's a good pull, honestly, on those probes. I do enjoy that. So we have the Adept making his way back down. Is he gonna play the same thing here? Adept Stalker just into that Stargate. I mean, I know that Classic plays Stargate practically every single game. And as I say that, he throws down the Twilight Council. So he's gonna switch it up. This might be just a switch up altogether in play style. Where Classic is one of those guys that every now and again just has like a different iteration of a matchup. So he'll have like a PvT setup that he's really fond of, and then all of a sudden he'll change it up. There'll be like a new build that kind of gets put in the rotation, or there'll be a new little trick that he's familiar with now that he likes doing. And I think here the real trick is the banger move that he's playing is that he's opening up with Adept Stalker every single game, and that makes it hard for Terran to figure out what the actual tech is, unless of course they get to see the tech for free anyway. Oh my god, that is real bad. Because the mind game here was nice, the mind game here was good. Just having the Stalker out, now having... See, it's the exact same build, just with Blink. It is legitimately the same build. That is so cool. It's going to be 3 gates, but it's the same, like the same gateway order, the gateway unit order. So it's Adept, Stalker, Adept, whatever it is. It ends up with the same units. That's what I'm trying to say. We have a random pylon here being placed to try and spot something. We're gonna have another pylon, I think, here on the right, and then maybe a patrolling probe. Okay, just a patrolling probe for now. As this medevac is heading into a, once again, a main base angle. I might just try and take the same exact approach here. Fort Stalker now gets warped in. There is an Adept on the low ground, and I think this will be just fine here for our good friend Classic. Yeah, it's gonna take out this medevac pretty rapidly. Now can start one-shotting these Marines. Hasn't been doing an absolutely great job when it comes to that quite yet. But it's gonna clean this up fairly easily. And that's what's important. Mine is finally gonna connect. 3 kills total for a medevac, 6 Marines and a mine. And this was all of 2 gas as well, so yeah, I think he's going to be pretty happy with it. Now, this did actually, the one thing that this did do is give a lot of space here for the Banshee, right? There's no aggression, there was no scouting. The first observer is on the way out right now and is going to stay home. But Classic is pretty much in the dark. This is a cool build, by the way, here out of Maru. Like a very cool build out of Maru. Straight into those Banshees, huh? That I do really like. It's gonna arrive at a very solid timing as well. If this were to be a 3 or a 4 gate blink, this would be the exact move out timing. And that means that this Banshee would have dealt a crap ton of damage. Second Banshee is also on the way out soon, as here comes the first one. It's gonna start taking out probes at a pretty high speed. As the first 3 have fallen, number 4 is gonna go down as well. And the Banshee, rather than staying a little bit too long, decides, you know what I can do? I can actually just run away, and I can force units to stay in the main base to deal with this potential Banshee. So I do kind of like that. We have a tank behind us. We have a third barracks as well coming out. We have 3 tanks actually behind this. So I do believe that Maru was preparing a little bit here for a 4-gate blink. He's going to start moving in towards the third base. Needs to start his cloak at some point, you would think. Just gonna fly in here. I don't think he expected that third base at all. I really don't think he did. He's killed 2 more, I think 2 more probes in the main base, by the way. Yeah, it's this bad boy that's doing all of that. Now the Stalkers are moving towards the third as the Banshee rotates in towards the natural. And Classic here is getting outplayed by Banshees. He really is. He's just move commanding his army from base to base, not properly pre-splitting at all. That means that Banshee got way more damage than it ever should have. So far, how many workers have gone down? 11 workers have gone down. Banshee comes back once more. How is Classic once again out of position? I don't quite understand that, but it is indeed the case. It's going to cost him 2, maybe 3 more workers. Now, this Banshee is going to end up falling, but in 4 more workers, that is a pretty decent trade right now. 15 workers versus 1 Banshee killed. Like, imagine if that wouldn't have been the case. Classic would have been right now on 65 workers. He would have had insane eco. Probably would have been capable of affording 10 gateways, a 4th base, 3 more forges as well, getting all upgrades at the same time. Now, this Banshee is a little bit too eager in my mind to go in. It's just going to stay around. I think the best thing that this Banshee can do at this point is just kind of stay away and force units to, you know, be retained in the main base. Ghost Academy is on the way as well over here, as we have stopped tank production after 3, and it's going to be a more aggressive style with mines here. Is this a 4 mine drop? Yes, it is. Is there an armory yet? No, there ain't. There are 2 Ghost Academies, though. Now, I don't know what that means, but that means he wasted some money, probably, unless he's planning on nuke rushing. I don't think he's gonna go for a nuke rush. I don't think he's gonna go for a nuke rush. I'd be very surprised if that's the case. Classic is looking to set up something here, but before he can set up something, he'll need to deal with this mine drop. Let's have a look at the first person here. Oh, flies in with the Banshee. That is brilliant, because that Banshee was a major distraction, and now this micro is not good enough. That is 18 workers that end up going down here. Oh, that was such a beautiful distraction. Okay, this game is practically over at this point. Maru literally just winning games in the first 8 minutes with some insane aggressive rotations. And to be quite honest, I think Classic also defending too poorly. He just didn't do a good job. Like, yeah, I think that's just it. He just didn't do a good job. I'm sorry, Classic. You haven't been playing well enough. It's actually true. This bench does way too much damage. 42 workers have gone down in 9 minutes. That is a crazy amount. Storms are moving forward. We'll get some hits here. There are 2 more Templars in the back. Might try and go for... Hello? What the heck is this? He's gonna get a couple of these Marines, but loses a Prism. That was a wild move. I honestly feel like that without it, Classic might have a chance in a fight. Now I definitely don't think he has a chance in a fight. EMP is going to connect with this feedback machine. Storm is going to hit that army pretty hard as well, honestly. We have a move in here into the tanks. Big blink forward. That was nasty. That was not nice at all. Oh no. As we now see these, so actually, pretty much a cleanup. Imagine if that Templar Prism wouldn't have died. How much better Classic could have done this. 42 workers killed and Classic is still in it. How is this possible? Look at this. I ain't saying Classic is doing it, but he might just be. He's getting a lot of units across the map. Does not have any consistent AoE anymore. No Storm. Has a couple of these Archons in here, but one Archon is way too low. Probably needs to just send it back home or try and kill some of these SCVs. Hello, can we fight that? Yes, we can. Maru, I think, might be dying here. He's in a world of trouble. Losing 18 SCVs at once is going to lose the armory. Losing that armory is actually super painful. Hasn't started +2 yet either. Oh, big storms from the side. Classic all of a sudden in a position where maybe he can do it. Has not built any workers though. Has not been trying to get them back in. I almost wish he would rebuild some workers. Look how much energy this guy has. He's 3 Nexus with almost full energy. Has not been chrono boosting well. And this Forge can definitely get a couple of chrono boosts, and so can his robotics facility. 131 supply to 111. How in the world did he come back in this game? I don't understand that. Like, I know that the double gas opener requires you to deal some damage, but surely if you kill 42 workers in 8 minutes, that should be enough. 3 Zealots are gonna get recalled out. Income in favor right now of Classic. I just don't understand how this happened. I just don't understand it. Now, the army of Classic is going to fall off at some point, and this is real important to note, because if he continues without teching, he's going to be in serious trouble. As this mine is going to burrow, unburrow. We have another mine heading in towards the natural. Is barely going to finish its burrow. Nice retargeting here coming out of our good friend Maru. Doesn't get too many kills on those mines, but did deny a little bit of mining. Got a scout in as well, saw what the army consisted of. And right now Maru's going to be pretty happy just building Ghost and mines. I think Classic really needs to transition out of this. He just keeps adding more Zealots, but the difference between like 0 Zealots and 15 Zealots is pretty big. But the difference between 15 Zealots and 30 Zealots, when it comes to damage output in a fight, is actually not that large. Yes, there is more tanking, but mines, they kill zealots quite quickly, especially in large numbers. Like, you need to at least come from multiple sides in order for these zealots to really be useful. I don't quite understand how 33 zealots in one spot are going to help out here. Maybe I'm the idiot, but I am just not really seeing this happen. We do have a flanking Templar Prism. Well, flanking dying on top of the cliffs perhaps, because that wasn't quite brilliant. Gonna get a zoning storm. This has been real poor control out of Classic. If he doesn't transition now, then he's really running out of time. Like, I'm not joking. I really am not joking. We have 12 mines here. We have 5 ghosts. That means there's infinite EMPs here to basically blanket the Archon count. We have a fort base, and oh, that was a big storm actually. Storms are going to be somewhat important. This is an interesting fight because it's going to be into like 7 mines. 143 supplied to 126. Classic is going to continue chasing. This is what is it? The sunk cost fallacy, thinking that because I already lost 15 zealots, I probably should commit to this fight. But it would have been much better to just go back, try and clear these mines, and then play from there. Because chasing into a kiting army with pure zealot never ever works out. Not having an observer to clean this has been probably the biggest mistake that Classic has made in this game, and he's made quite a few mistakes in this game already, so that really does say something. Templar Prism once again on the map. That's going to be number 3, I think. Yep, 3 have died so far, all of them in kind of a silly fashion as well, which makes it even sadder. Here come the mines. Do we have any storms available? That would have been huge. No. Mines are going to connect with individual zealots as another 4 mine drop heads in towards the main / natural plus the 3rd base, literally hitting every single base most likely here, as 2 mines are going to burrow. 1 mine moves in towards the main location, and then we have this bad boy heading over to the fort. I mean, Classic is just in so much trouble right now. This was an insanely good position for Classic. He was dead, then he was alive, then he was up, and then he kind of threw it all out of the window by continuously building pure Zealot Templar and honestly microing like a bit of a sloth at times. I did not quite enjoy that. Mine is going to get the connections there. As we see, Maru, 77 army supply to 65. The supplies are very close, but the problem here is just the army composition. Is that the ghost count is very high, the mine count is very high, there's enough medevac. So all the units that require time and a lot of gas to build are there already. So it really does make me worried here for Classic. Classic also ends up losing 8 more workers. He's lost a total of 64 workers in a 15-minute game right now. It's gonna lose his, what do you call this building? His Nexus as well. Don't you hate it when you forget the main structure of the race you've been playing for 13 years? These mines are well, barely gonna get taken out before they get to shoot once more. Observer moves in, tries to get some vision. Classic is just all in. He's on 38 workers against 55. There is well, there's not really a fort base, but it's the main base that flew to the fort base location. If this prison... Why is there an immortal in there? Please don't do that, sir. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Please don't put an immortal in the prism. That was a nice storm. This is the first time I've seen this prism actually do some serious work. Could get another decent one. That's a decent one indeed. More storms blanketing this Terran army for sure. Oh, I am... yeah, I'm just not feeling this position at all. There's no storms remaining. Maru is playing this so careful as well. I guess he can because he, once again, sent in... Where did these mines come from? Like, legit? Was that a medevac, or did they just walk across the map into this base and neither me or Classic noticed it? Observer is gonna help take him out, but this is so many Archons. And Archons are great if there's no ghosts, but sadly there are ghosts. That means that all these Archons are gonna be kind of crappy, honestly. Pre-split here is okay. There's this, well, actually CC's gonna get taken out. Kind of a big deal. It would have been a very big deal if Maru didn't just have 145 supply versus 80 right now. So that is going to be it for game number 2 as well. So Maru is going to put himself on match point here. Classic throwing this game out of the window at a very high pace. 2-0 in favor of the Terran. And game 3 brings us to altitude over here, where we are going to have a no scout coming out of Classic, or at least a very delayed scout if he will end up scouting. Doesn't seem to be the case. So opening with the core first. Then we have Maru. For the first time that he doesn't get scout, is opening up with a... Oh, wow. Is that a reactor first? No, it's a marine into reactor. Just didn't see the marine. Marine into reactor. And he's pulling out of gas already, so... This can be either one of two things. Could either be a 3-rex, but as we don't see a second barracks, that's not going to be the case. That means it's going to be a triple CC opener here, coming out of our good friend Maru now. And that is kind of cool. It's a build that I am just so fond of. I think it's real good. It has so much potential, in particular against these Stargate openers. Because it's kind of scary to play against it if you open Stargate. It's like, there's a lot of Marines. It's like, well, what if they move across the map? You always kind of have that in the back of your head. It's like, what if they... You know they're most likely not going to move across the map, but sometimes they do, and you're like, well, I don't have anything. I play way too greedy. With Blink or something, of course, you have units in position the entire time. So it's it's different. It hits different for sure. Yeah, Let's see if, what's he called? If Classic's going to be capable of figuring all of this out, though. And if he's going to be Phoenix first is the worst case as well. Yeah, no, this is not good here. This is not good for Classic. It is a lot of things, and one of the things it is definitely not good. I hope he scouts with the Phoenix, though. If he doesn't scout with the Phoenix, then he's actually going to be in serious trouble. Oh my god, you can't make this up. Okay, now, here we go. I'm gonna send it across the map, and I think that's good. You know, he'll see the orbital command the moment it's finished, basically. So, and it's not like the moment you scout it, you can insta throw down a third base. No, you probably are still going to need to get the gases number 3 and 4. So, gets the scout here. Now, if he has a brain, which I hope he does, he should know that this is a triple CC, because there's no second tech lab yet. And that makes no sense with a regular 3-rex build. I'd be very surprised if he misreads this. He is misreading this. He's gonna get a second gate. Now scouts the triple CC. He's gonna lift an SCV. I almost feel like lifting the mule might be better, but then again, you don't know if the mule is new or if it's old. Or what's kicking off with the mule. You know, how long has it been here already? That's a fast robotics bay, by the way, 427. It's a good timing. Marines now moving out on the map are... What? I don't know what this is. This seems idiotic. No? Wait. This seems insane. Hey, there's no third base yet for Classic either. This is a really wild push out. It's like, wow, hello? Is this allowed? How many Marines is that? 12, 15 Marines. I mean, Phoenixes can't really kill it. There's no Stalkers. I guess it's a safe move out. There's a third base going down at the fourth base location for Classic. Classic is in so much trouble. This is such a frustrating situation to be in, let me tell you. Wow. I can't believe he proxied this base, though. That's actually kind of a high tier move. Gonna just have to say that. And then he's going to expand probably to the third in a little bit from now. We have a scan upwards. And I think a double expand is not actually a bad call. You are going up to 5 barracks already. There's literally 0 Marauders out on the map. This has been an insanely fast rush here into medevacs. Like, insanely quick. We're going to have very fast E-base as well coming out of Maru here. Oh no, he's going to find it. Oh no, is this just game? Does he stim and then you start trying to take it out? I'm not sure if you do. I guess he does. I don't think he'll get it though, but just knowing that it's here is so big, he's actually gonna get it. He is gonna get it. That's a cancel. I laugh, but I cry. That's one sentry's gonna get taken out. Even if these Marines die, this was super worth it already. This was uber worth it. Classic literally has one opportunity right now, and that is walking across the map and getting the W. Now, there are no Marauders. Well, there's 2 Marauders, but that's practically no Marauders. And there is 2 Colossus. So Marines are going to suck massively. We will have 5 barracks production though. And there are 4 gates with 2 more on the way. Is there a prism coming out as well? No, it's just all being rallied across the map. There's no thermal lens quite yet. Now, Marauders are going to be hugely useful here, as the target fire of the Colossus so far hasn't been great. Got 2 big swipes off on a Marauder, which is exactly what you don't want. Immortal, though, in a little bit of trouble now. Is the Colossus in the back, most likely gonna struggle? Why is he continuing to attack those Marauders with the Colossus? That definitely is a mistake. Thermal lens helping out, but there's not enough in front of his army. And I think Classic is actually just gonna end up dying here. I think he killed himself into Maru. He's like, yeah, he actually just walked himself to death. I understand why he did it, because he was down in upgrades. He lost his 3rd base just then, which was proxied. So he felt like he needed to do something, and he probably did need to do something, but I don't think the thing he needed to do was take a mediocre fight, and that is what ended up happening. These Zealots do not quite have charge yet. There is no prism with this army either. As Vikings are out, there's legitimately no anti-air whatsoever. You have a Sentry and a Phoenix. That is so sad. That is actually so sad. How do these mine drops keep happening? There's an armory already, 6 more kills. This is unbelievable. This should not be viable. As Maru's gonna scout the complete lack here of probes on this 3rd base. He's already building a 4th, and right now is probably just wondering, it's like, hey, is there another proxy base, or does this guy just not have any eco? And the answer, sadly, is that there's legitimately no eco. Classic is setting up for an attack here with 1-2 Archons, a bunch of Zealots. We have the Ghost Academy constructing now, so that is something that is quite good. But honestly, wait, 3 more kills on that mine? Ah, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Maru's gonna start marching on the map here. Needs to be careful because he doesn't have Ghost, and Archons, if there's no Ghost, can be pretty good. 150 supply though against 124. We do have a lift on this base right now. Maru is just going to set up shop in the natural, at least temporarily. I mean, he doesn't need to take any risks right here, so why would he? Depot drop in the natural as well. Turrets are being constructed. We have more and more mines coming in. We're at 8 already. This 2-2 is about 25% in. Vikings take out an observer there. Very cool. Mine shot, mine shot, mine shot. Okay, I kind of dig that. Kind of do dig that. You get a big stim, nice concave. And I think that this might just be it. There's not enough Zealots anymore. The Archons are being microed back, but that ain't it either. Vikings now pretty much free range over these Colossus. And GG gets called as Maru wins this series 3-0. A rather one-sided series with, I think, the mine drop kind of making a comeback here. And it's not the early mine drop that did anything, right? It really was just the mine drop as more of a mid-game tool to try and deal damage. And I think Classic dealt with that extremely poorly. No cannons in any of his bases, never having units in positions, not pulling away quick enough. I mean, if you lose 65 workers in a game that lasted, 15, 16 minutes, that is usually not a good thing. All right, that's going to be it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow with more KSL SummerSlam. If you've been enjoying it so far, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And that is going to be it. Thank you all so much for watching, and bye-bye.